Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All. Last episode, we already did the first 4-1 of the trial. The masses want to kill Phoenix Wright because he wants the guilty claim and the fact that the Gumshoe tried to give the evidence but crashes his own truck. So we're hoping Franziska von Karma comes and helps us and arrives in time to help us with our case. Anyways, let's get started. March 23rd, 2:35 p.m. District Court number 3. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand a defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edge, please tell us the court of the results of the handwriting analysis on impacts a suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that the suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note wasn't written by Miss Impacts herself. It was not written by Impacts herself. It is a fake. Order, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impacts, then who wrote it? We would need more time for detailed analysis, however. It appears that the handwriting matches up the victim, Mr. Juan Carita. Mr. Carita? Well. Looks like Miss Impacts never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about On Guard. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On Guard could not have known that the facts remain unchanged. Under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound plausible. This theory that Engard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. The defense believes that the theory that the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything of the prosecution is proven up to this point to be true, it's impossible for Mr. Engard to have not known it was a fake, because he would have, because of the spy camera, right?
Take that!
What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. A very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera. Oh, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. Engard knew the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim, is that right? If that were true, then this means Mr. Engard would have known that the victim had forged the note. Ah! So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake? And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as for what Mr. Engard's motive for murder was has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it is not as if Mr. Engard monitored Mr. Carita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Engard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show some proof that the victim made the forgery in an unknown place? Yeah. Order, Mr. Edgeworth. Looks like this time it is you who have dug your own grave. Yeah. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured. It came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you're not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Engard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edward's stuttering? It's not like him at all. Unusual? What sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who is it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder? That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Oh, yes, Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness? Yes, go on, who is it? The man himself, Mr. Shelley the Killer. Oh, Mr. the Killer? Wait, Shelley the Killer? He casually said, oh, it's the killer. Wait, it's the killer? You mean the killer? Or I mean the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here to the witness stand? Well, yes, in a matter of speaking. I recognize this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yes, is it alright with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. Defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness, your name and your occupation, please. I knew this was gonna happen. We sent out our transceiver for the killer. You know what? It's like the parrot from the fourth case in Phoenix in the first game. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm a professional assassin. I say, what is going on here, Your Honor? How can you remain so calm? What is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got about earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. You allowed a parrot to testify. Are you saying we can't allow radio transceivers to be testified? God, Judge, you're goddamn racist. First of all, we can't even be sure if this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelley the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! A voice, Mr. Wright. Can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer. It looks like we have to run in yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness. There's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. Oh, what would that be? At the crest of the client, you killed Mr. Juan Carreta. Is this correct? Is as you say, I did kill Mr. Carreta. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all a bad dream. Yes, that's it, a bad dream. Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say? There's something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here on this witness stand today. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a clever man. I almost say he seems to be mocking us. Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. What do you mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. It's basically like, if you fulfill a contract, you honor that contract. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry? Go on. Well, it appears to be one witness. You can't badger Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. The trust between you and your client? I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. Until many people knew of my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that is why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab me in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did, yes, that person would be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough, please, no more. Very well, it was only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside the prescribed role. The role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right and be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die? Oh, no, I didn't say anything. I would like to live for so long because I'm old. The judge had better watch himself. It's my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. That egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow, that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. Seems very steadfast and close that you're gonna have to work to get him to... I'm not his therapist, you know? I don't see any evidence that can really do it. Alright. Yeah, I don't see any contradictory evidence. I mean, if I present evidence, I'll probably lose health, and I don't want that. I want to put Matt on guard, but I have a feeling I can't do that just yet. So. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about just something. You said that your client had already broken the rule. Oh, okay. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can understand their assigned role. Just my luck, an assassin with a conscience, who would have figured. Now then, everyone, do you understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Now then, I do believe it's time to reveal the name of my client. Don't you agree? What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requests the murder of Mr. Juan Carita? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews, what? What?
Objection!
Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be on the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Well, we are surrounded by betrayal and, like, stabbed Edgeworth in the back. I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him to... Oh, a different name? Matt on guard, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. You were the one who summoned this witness. You're you, Shelly the Killer. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt on guard. Am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. Prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided a suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, this is a possibility that the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. the Killer's client, who was questioned that the murder was not the defendant at all. No. But all this evidence is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Avantgarde is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, Avantgarde will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save mine. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying, and my client, I know he's guilty. Why did you say he was guilty earlier? It didn't matter about Maya's situation at all. The purpose is we get him guilty. You want to delay this trial no matter what just to save her life, but you know what Maya told you, right? Guilty. Give him the guilty sentence. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelly the Killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please, that tells me this now. It was one old big lie. Miss Andrews, suicide note may have been fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan said it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie. Well, Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He doesn't name you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and the button done in the nickel samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. We all know that Miss Celeste Impact was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No. Mr. Wright. You know the truth. You tell them. Tell them the real story. Tell them who the real killer is. Tell them. Please. Help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense any final words or opinions. May I have to decide, do I take the not guilty verdict to save Maya? Or throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Let the trial continue. Phoenix, I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept the not guilty. You are a lawyer, I know. But Matt Avantgarde is a killer, a murderer. Phoenix, this would have been a lot easier if you had said he's guilty. Matt Avantgarde is guilty. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got into this situation. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than Avantgarde. You are a monster, Phoenix. You are one of the worst defense attorneys. Even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it's because of Edgedrift I now know the real truth. He's gotten on guard convicted so many times over. He never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust, and the world will hate you, Phoenix Wright. The world will hate you. His trust? Never thought about it till now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. Defense requests that. Are you allowed to further question Mr. the Killer? Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But, the witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I am not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. No, it isn't, Phoenix. You delayed the trial just to delay the guilty sentence. Guilty, you idiot. Why won't we let just Maya die? You guys are like, oh, that's so cruel. That's so cruel. But I'm a cruel person. I don't care what happens. Guilty. There's still more evidence to look at, and I'm sure that once these pieces arrive here in this courtroom, miracle will occur. Very well, this trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer. Alright. Hold up. Ow. I was just drinking something. Right away, Your Honor. Has the verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk to you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else can you need me for? Well... Actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What is he talking about, usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures, is there any wonder no likes to go to court? As I have already stated a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame for another for a crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew that from the very beginning that Juan Carrito was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planning of a knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is a most unexpected turn of events for the 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, we still have the cross-examination to... But you don't need a question testimony like this? Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness as if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? Why? What this witness has said nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. Are you saying, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you don't want your client to be not guilty? If you could have had it guilty earlier. God, Phoenix Wright is a dumbass. I understand what he wants to do. I just want to save Maya. It's just nothing but excuses. If you scrutinize the testimony then I'll expose the lies in that oh so beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes the two of us. What is it, Mr. Wright? As if I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. I do have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit. Yes? How much is your fee? I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. No. I'm not thinking of hiring... Mr. Wright! Yes? You want to kill me! You want me dead, don't you? No. No. What? Why would you think something like that? You're guilty, Mr. Phoenix Egg. You are hereby declared guilty. Well, game over. Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? Mr. Phoenix Wright is guilty. I approve. One thing I can overlook is the tampering scene of the crime. I would think that most people would be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very affected at my job. Yeah, well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this, even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client is this time has thought they could run away from their guilt. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, my business card. Oh, and this card. That no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things as easy? My business card makes it very easy to carry out who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. To disregard everything to go stab the deceased with a knife. Even hide my card from the site. That is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you use my client, Mr. Attorney, I suggest you plan for your alibi too. No, I already told you I have no intentions of using your services ever. And the judge is mad at me? Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one in trial here? Andrews knew from the very instead. From the very beginning? That is correct, from before my client visited the room. All my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. Well, even more appalling is the creation and planning of the knife and button. So why do you think that your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around the scene of the crime is pretty risky. Why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungard. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible, huh? My job is to kill, and that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. To say it's for revenge, setting someone else to take up your fall. And that's all you have to testify. Yes, and I'm afraid I will never be called to the stand again. As in you plan to continue? As I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Excuse me? No, I'm fine. Really? The judge is mad again. Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man and the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do is expose the lies. That's true. However, you realize that this will be very bad for our client, right? Yeah, I'm so confused. The one thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet. While pretending the person discovered in the body entered the scene. This one has caught me off guard. Did Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning Juan Creator was dead? Like, did she already knew? Huh? You didn't see her death, Jared? Did Adrian Andrews already knew? Wait. I just realized something. Then what? This? She already knew, then she wouldn't have need to put herself in the crime scene. Yeah. Like, why would she leave fingerprints by herself? There's no way she knew the crime scene if she already has fingerprints on this wine glass. Thank you so much for taking your time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is this meaning of that attitude? When Miss Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Carita had been murdered. But how? How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The what glass? Mr. the Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Carita had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This wine glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, this would have never been left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edger, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the exact same thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't this a waste of time to be asked such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you're mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have a knowledge of Mr. Carita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yes. Why is that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I'm in positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requested further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now, I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here, I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Oh, this request came to be, about a year ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Was this really planned a week ahead of time? Seriously?
Hold it!
1 week ago, are you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations. I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. Specific date and time.
Hold it!
Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's requests. If I asked for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Carita's room. I'd like you to retrieve that item for me. You must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was the suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose the contents at the press conference after all. That is correct. If I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where this bear figurine was. I see, so he wanted the bear figurine. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? No. What the killer said sounds plausible, but in the end, it's just his conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think it's very important. Very well. Witness, please continue. A certain bar discuss and finalize a few matters. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was that brief pause? Witness, I would like you to forgive us some more few details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. The only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? I think it's very important. Did Adrian Andrews really physically met them? Of course, it was very important, Your Honor. Mr. Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client was really Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see, it was just as I said. Yeah! I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping you? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now, will please the witness continue?
Hold it!
So your client was Adrian Andrews. That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met. If they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, it doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him. You can't draw a suspicion. If you can't do that, you'll be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Something about a delicate balance.
Hold it!
Testimony has made one thing clear. That is that the client knew of the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet, Mr. Wright? I think all of us already do that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony.
Hold it!
It was not important. Let's try that. Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please step aside, sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question is, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I've already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought I can trust this person as a client. It's true. What they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was that the testimony all important? If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony of just now was of most importance. Oh, really? That's the case. Witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. Oh, that's what you're supposed to do. From the moment why are you saying him? Shouldn't you be saying her? But as we know how it turned out, correct? What do you mean? Adrian Andrews turned out to be a client who couldn't stick to the rules, right? Well, yes. I suppose you are correct. So I would like to check one last time. Are you sure your testimony is accurate? Him? Are you referring Miss Adrian Andrews as a him?
Objection!
I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. That's when he thought he was trustworthy. How much times I must repeat myself? That is correct. I'm so sorry, but this is an impossible tale. What? Shelly the killer. You never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip up about her. So what is this issue? What did you just say this now? About her? Have you ever met Adrian Andrews in person? One look would tell you that she was a woman. Oh ho! Ah! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? The transceiver broke? This witness testified to the following. That he always meets his face-to-face with his clients when taking a request. He has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client cannot have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Yeah. Why is there liquid coming out of a transceiver? That makes no fucking sense. This is the weirdest trial yet. Mr. Edgeworth, rests on your logic on this one. Ow. However, why would an assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has something to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unlucky for Mr. the Killer. The entire time he was on the stand, no one stated Mr. Adrian Andrews' gender. So he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelly the Killer! This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, will you allow me to testify once more? I knew he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took the job without having met my client. The request is for the murder of Juan Carita and two or three other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. I mean, Adrian is a guy's name, but sure, no one expects Adrian to be a girl's name. He didn't mention anything about a letter in her earlier testimony. Means that he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If we break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know, I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay if we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. But you just say you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients who are meeting is simply not possible. Didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come on. Now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then cough it off and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof Mr. Killer met with his client? No. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof. I see. And your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. Right and wrong. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client.
Hold it!
And why would you cannot meet your certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more and more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities. On top of which, the times have been changed. And as now the age of information and computers correct, I have now joined the times. Now I take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? Do you have mail that's in a special insulated envelope? I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is commonly referred to as email. Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot hands down. Ahem. Anyway, so you took the shot without having met your client and...
Hold it!
2 or 3 other things. Yes? Or those other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case? What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Fuck it! We are not related to this case for the court is to decide. Mr. Attorney? Yes, everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. That's why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be a one? Wait. Uh-oh, this is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. I have to think. This is worth pursuing? Fuck it! Let's go! Let's go! Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what those other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, then I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Kurita's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony, as you wish. One of these to find a bear figurine to give it to Miss Adrian Andrews. I found this figurine at the Mr. Unguard mansion. You gave it to Miss Andrews, well then what is it doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Unguard, I'm sure. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this? It's no use. As long as I can't put my finger on the central problem here, pressing this witness anymore would be extremely dangerous. It appears that Mr. Wright has no problems. Well then, witness, please continue.
Hold it!
So you're saying that you never saw your client's face, not even once? I did, once. It was when I gave my client the figurine. Yes, I see. But Miss Andrews was wearing a mask at the... Miss Andrews was wearing a mask at the time. A mask? Nico Samurai mask, I'm guessing. Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? Do you have any problems with this piece of testimonies? I think I could pull something out of what he said, but it would be very bad if I did something and made him mad over something trivial. There are no problems with the testimony, Your Honor. We pretty much reached the end of our rope here. Seems like we're still okay to me. And that is exactly what is so bad. At this rate we're gonna end up completely destroying the killer's lie. If we do that, you already know how serious of a situation that will put us in. Oh yeah. All I can do now is pray and those items will reach us in time. Yeah, it has to be in a new statement. Very obvious. Sorry guys, I had to do something very quick. Alright, let's continue. One of them was the bear figurine. I gave it to Miss Adrian Andrews. Wait, if you were to get this, did she wanted this? Did she? That's the question. Or do we already know it was forged? Yeah, we do know it was kind of forged. Sorry, guys. Alright. I think I'm gonna present this. Shelly the killer. If he had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should have not been inside it. Oh yeah! Giving it to her would be really bad. Really bad for you. And Matt. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where's everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? No, Judge. Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it for her sake. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure you would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Oh yeah, I remember that. Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that this suicide was still inside the bear, that tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... it means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Oh ho! Order, order, order! Mr. Phoenix, Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How could I hate traitors above all else? I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break the end of your agreement. No, that's enough. If that is your intention, then there's only one thing for me to do. Wait, please! Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter I must attend to. No, please, not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, or I'll stay my hand otherwise. Yeah. What in the... Mr. Wright, are you? Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there's need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should. Edgeworth, we can't do this. Keep this on my shield. The prosecution, what has come over everyone? Even you are the prosecution. Rest. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is the most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe Mr. Killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley the Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Yeah. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. If I end the trial right now, then your client, Matt Ungar, will be declared innocent. And in this place, Adrian Andrews will be charged with murder. Miss Andrews will be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring defendant Matt Ungar to the stand. I answered the killer. Hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. Can't believe it. The outcome lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as truly innocent and good person. You had done enough to evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear that you are innocent. Huh. So, I guess that even that old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. On Guard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, like giving up his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap. It's just atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it, pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice or save Maya's life? We're gonna get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? But do it! Do it! Maya will die, do it! I don't care if Maya will die! I'm getting Matt guilty. I get guilty! If I say he's innocent, then Miss Angela will be charged as the murderer. If I say he's guilty or not guilty, either I'm choice to make someone's life is going to end. I don't care, Phoenix! Guilty! Case closed. Guilty. You're all hinging on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. The person who hired assessment, Miss Adrian Andrews. Your client, Mr. Matt On Guard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer's gonna say what I want, aren't you? Right. I can't do this. I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anyway. I have to listen to my heart. Client Matt On Guard is guilty! We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. The client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt, the guard is...
Objection!
Oh! Franziska Von Karma is here! Franziska Von Karma! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix, right? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Isles Edgeworth. Von Karma's perfect in every way. The evidence here is in perfect condition. Don't you worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside of this. What a filthy old coat this is! That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there's nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard for this whole trial, all for what is inside that raggedy coat. Sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat is the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains for me to hand out my verdict. I do not believe there's any evidence we presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karn to be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edger. I grant you permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule lies here. These items do not bring up any new points, and they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karn, if you please. These pieces of evidence are left by the killer during his escape from the police. They must have been quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. First item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Alright, I'm gonna save the game. So next time on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, we're gonna be continuing this trial. Because I have a bad feeling that I do not want to get a bad ending. I have a feeling we're nearing the point of, if I get this wrong, I'm fucked. So, I'll see you guys all next time.